Watching show.
What about it?
Just watch it.
There we go. Hey! It was at the square that I caught up with her.
Oh, now what do you want?
A look of extreme fatigue was on Masha's face. Maybe you want to take a short walk before you head off to sleep.
Why would I?
She glanced at me, apparently misunderstanding me. Well, it's just still so early. I bet you wouldn't even think of going to sleep at this time in the city.
In the city? This isn't the city here, you know. It's 3 days counts for one.
Oh, come on. It's still early.
Oh, fine.
She gave me a bright look and smiled.
Just not for too long.
Yeah.
Why do you carry that all the time?
She pointed to the stock paper I held in my hands. Well, you never know what might happen.
Just then, a paper thief jumped out from the bushes. Give me all your paper. We don't have any paper, but you have it right there. Well. You should have left it at home.
Shortly thereafter, we arrived at the beach.
What a lovely moon.
That's no moon. I pulled up my pants. Masha started to strip and dashed off toward the river. I don't know what I was expecting because she had the bikini on under that pioneer. Fascinated. I stared as if English as she paddled her legs in the water, which caused ripples to splash around her. So, you're still able to have fun, I shouted.
No!
She threw me an offended look, came closer, and sat down next to me.
Yeah, it's like recently you all think that I'm just being an old hag.
Of course you're not, but you're still one hell of a hag. I'm not sure. I don't have any particular reasons. Masha got up and moved several feet away from me. Oh, come on.
Don't come on me. It's just one kid be such a...
Such a what?
You never see anything.
She put her hand down on her knees and added quietly.
These are my knees.
These knees. Yeah, and that's me, cold-hearted, dumb, and dull. Masha gave a barely audible laugh.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go swimming.
It's cold in there.
I won't take long.
Okay. Picture time? No? The water was surprisingly warm. So I stopped swimming behind her.
It cooled down right away. That's awesome.
I sat down at the tunnel. I sat down at the towel that somebody had left behind and took a deep breath of soft night air. There it is.
Yes.
This is his first shirtless pic. This is his first shirtless pic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's drawn a little weird. Whatever. Masha lay in front. More like on me. Yeah, laid on me.
Am I disturbing you?
Not at all.
My dick.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of tired.
She looked straight into my eyes, but I averted my gaze.
Why can't it be on the same as before?
How so?
Come on.
That was a joint decision, you know.
Nevertheless.
She put her arms around my waist, and I felt even more ill at ease.
Why have we come here in the first place?
To shoot a movie! I tried to put it off with my chest.
Still, if it wasn't for you, I would never gone to this college in the first place. We could have already.
She sighed.
But now.
I still think that digging up the past with this context is hardly a good idea.
You might think so, but as for me, I still think we shouldn't have.
Did you say shouldn't have or should have?
Shouldn't have.
Okay. But you were the one who wanted it in the first place.
I never wanted it.
Are they talking about the movie or sex?
I don't know. They probably dated or something.
That's what it sounds like. Oh, yeah. So it was me who insisted?
Yes, it was you.
She turned away but didn't get off of me. You're always like that. You don't like this. You don't like that. Why can't you just adopt a simpler approach to life? Take a look around. It's a splendid summer. It's a beautiful night. We're shooting a remarkable movie. In fact, everything's great.
Do you really believe that all that yourself?
Her question was indeed one worth asking. I do, kind of. It's not like everything's always ideal, but what's so bad about it?
Everything is bad.
Wow, you're a downer. She seemed ready to burst into tears.
The stupid cat that's gripped to yours. Everything is bad. You're not a child anymore. You've already started failing, got a job.
Hey, we discussed it all like 1,000 times. Okay, clearly that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, broke up exactly because of that.
Boom. That was your call, mind. Precisely because of your everything is bad attitude.
Oh, but you go like everything's good. And my God for that. Only fools rejoice around on empty.
I'm not rejoicing, or rather I'm rejoicing about things that are worth rejoicing about. I like my work. I find pleasure in films. Do I really?
So that means you didn't find pleasure in me.
I found pleasure on you. She got up
I
and leaned
put
against.
pleasure in you a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's the joke I was making. But let's make it worse. And I
It
mean
was
that.
sex we did. It was all the sex.
She got up and leaned against my chest. Maybe we shouldn't.
What's the matter? Don't you want to?
Did I miss a line? All she's doing is leaning against your chest. Nope, I didn't miss a line. Click. I couldn't make up my mind on how I should reply. On the one hand, I did want to open old wounds, but on the other hand, sex. And by now, I didn't care if someone who might not be sleeping might see us. But why? What comes after?
Who cares?
You do. Well, in that case, bone sequence that we are missing apparently, right?
Yeah.
The gleaming moonlight reflected in the water droplets of the bare skin, the sticky sand, the chill of summer night, and the heat of her body, heavy breathing, a gasp of pleasures. Everything passed.
Ow!
I gotta say, that's the most erotically written thing, where it's almost explicitly sex, short of my penis penetrated or something like
I
that.
don't know, dude. So here's the
Of
thing.
the words that we've read.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this about society, but there are people who are really good at writing about sex.
I know that.
Like there's like a whole cult of people who follow like whole novel series where it's just dudes writing
Yeah.
sex scenes or
Yeah.
girls writing sex scenes.
I'm aware.
Okay.
Where do you think I make my money from?
I'm just saying, like,
Just because I can't read.
when you're
doesn't
like,
mean-
that's
just-
the best sex sentence.
No.
I've heard."
I'm not saying it's the best. I'm saying it's the most sexually explicit written content in this game, meaning nothing has been so overtly, this is about sex. That's
Yeah,
what
but
I'm
they
saying.
did basically. They did that with Slavia too, and Lena. I think.
Kind of. Maybe I'm wrong, because I think maybe, I don't know. But anyway, just because I can't read doesn't mean I can't write. That's
Yeah,
what
but
I was- that's what I
when
was
you
gonna
read
say.
gasps of pleasures, my joke was I said, "Ow,
Yeah. Oh.
owie."
Guess it's time to sleep. It's gonna be a rough day tomorrow. Gudrito will definitely push us hard. I was slowly buttoning up my shirt and I watched Masha dressing.
I don't want to sleep alone.
It's like they had to make up the whole they were a couple before in order to justify the fact that they have no relation throughout the game to get to a point where they would sleep together. So they had to kind of go, oh no, wait, in the past they did. So let's catch up now and sleep together, I guess.
Yeah,
It kind of seems like that. I thought that's what the whole movie thing was going to be about. But I
would
don't
be
know what-
interesting, and this is what I'm hoping happens: is with the final ending that everything's cleared up, and we know, oh, maybe this is all just acting, and you just lose your memory, and like
Ooh, the game hasn't been that smart yet.
right. I don't know.
That'd be cool. Ooh, I'm afraid of the grasshoppers.
It's not the grasshoppers; it's the crickets, and I'm not afraid of them.
She averted her gaze and blushed a little.
It's just unusual.
You might have got used to it given the amount of time. I suddenly thought that there's nothing wrong with this idea, especially given everything that happened. Okay.
But where?
Masha gave me a questioning look. There are a couple of unoccupied cabins reserved for further scenes. Well, of course, we could use these props for a while, I guess.
Let's go.
She smiled, got up and took my arm, and we slowly headed to the square. And then I realized it was all a dream. An irresistibly blinding morning glare struck my ass. I wasn't able to stretch. Masha was sleeping on my left arm. I barely managed to pull my limb from under her head and massaged it for a long time, trying to restore the blood flow. Scratching my stubble, I reached for my shorts to find my cigarettes. Perhaps we shouldn't have gone that far yesterday after all. Now she definitely won't leave me alone. Well, probably not. That's not in her nature. But a bad aftertaste will still remain. And now she has an argument to scold me with. If I just give her one chance to. Yet another argument. It's not like she's so short on them. Unable to find the cigarettes in my shorts, I thought that I must have left them behind in my cabin, so I clumsily dressed and went outside. Oh Lord, let it rain at last. It's impossible to work in such an oven. And it's like this day and night, night and day. Rubbing my eyes, I plodded down the trail and didn't notice somebody coming until they ran right into me. Poof!
I'm coming.
It was electronic.
Hi, Semyon.
Hi there. Oh, that was quick. I shouted after him. Finally, I came to the cabin, opened the door, and entered. Olga Dmitrievna was inside. You think she gives a crap that you were sleeping with some girl in another cabin? I feel like she's just not going to care or notice.
She didn't care when you were children.
Yeah.
Not really. Would you care to explain?
What's the matter?
Where did you spend the whole night?
Inside a cabin. She looked more than menacing. I was with Masha. And what's the problem? After all, everyone got it already. So what makes it absolutely no sense to hide it?
With who?
She doesn't know who that is. Olga Dmitrievna gave me a surprised glance. With Masha, I repeated calmly.
We don't have any Mashas here.
Oh. Masha's a dude. Now it's my turn to be surprised.
Semyon, your behavior is... Oh, you're back in the real world.
Yep.
Semyon, your behavior is unbecoming of a true
Because
pioneer.
he was asleep. Are we shooting already? But where are the cameras? I grinned.
Semyon.
Oh, come on. I headed to my bed and opened the drawer. However, my backpack wasn't there. Have you seen my backpack?
A backpack?
She looked at me in surprise. Yeah, it was here.
But you arrived here without any luggage.
What? I broke into a silly smile.
And I still haven't finished yet.
Oh, good to meet you. I get that you're in the finest of moods this morning. You have an eagerness to joke around, but...
How can I feel fine when a pioneer, a future Komsomol member, is acting like
Komsomol,
that?
yeah.
Komsomol?
Komsomol. A pioneer, a Komsomol member, something is definitely going wrong. Oh, good to meet you, Abner. Have you slept well? Are you crazy?
How dare you speak to me like that?
Ahem, what's your problem?
To sum up, you need to be at the lineup in half an hour. As for me, I still need to find Miku.
Miku, it looks like they just want to play a prank on us. Ma'am, yes, ma'am. I saluted and marched out of my cabin. I have to go and tell Masha, share some laughter with her. What the balls? It's still a little confusing. I vigorously pushed the camp leader doors open and ran in. Masha, you won't believe what they... Masha used to do her. She's like, she doesn't know who I am or doesn't, whatever. She's terrified that I did that. What happened? I leaped to her side.
Lena just came in.
Lena, but she wasn't planning to come for another 3 days.
It wasn't our Lena. This was just something that looked like her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Masha was trembling and an expression of horror was on her face. Calm down, let's take it slowly.
She was talking about some kind of a lineup, cleaning the grounds, about the library, about the music club.
Her breathing became rapid.
And it wasn't a joke, I'm sure of it.
I recalled the recent conversation with Olga Dmitrievna at once. Okay, calm down. I still haven't gotten it.
It wasn't our Lena. It was the Lena from your script.
She raised her tear-filled eyes to me, and I understood right away that this wasn't a joke, and my courage vanished. That's ridiculous. It just can't be. Though recalling the conversation with the director... Oh,
No,
sad.
no, I'm sure.
She threw herself into my arms. I tried to calm her down. We have to think logically. It's just them trying to pull a prank on us. That's all. I was just talking to Olga Dmitrievna, and No, I can't just say it to Masha. In the end, they will have their laugh and then quit it.
No, something has happened, something horrible. I'm sure of it.
Masha was subbing in. Okay, let's get down to it. Let's talk to someone. For example, to Router. He surely isn't the main stand-up comedian in our hood. To tell the truth, at this point, I was interested in myself in finding out what kind of joke this was. One that can bring Masha, who is always calm and prepared for everything, to hysterics. Still a little confused, but I'm on board.
Okay.
She wiped away her tears and got up from the bed. Calm down now.
I'm trying.
Masha said faintly.
Let's go.
We left the cabin. Fantastic stuff.
Where'd you?
Olga Dmitrievna was talking about some kind of lineup. Let's go to the square. Most likely they will be there. Masha took my hand but let go of it right away. I chose to not look in her direction because I already knew what expression she had in her face and just headed to the square. The lineup, if that is the right term for people flocking around the monument, was quite crowded. I didn't recognize even half of people gathered there. Even a half
Of people
it makes sense.
gathered here.
And that fact is strange to do. Olga Dmitrievna tried to line up though. I was supposed to line up her. Olga Dmitrievna, you know.
Oh, and Miku is here too.
She interrupted me.
Excellent. We'll talk after the lineup.
What lineup are you talking about? Isn't that enough playing games? For God's sake, it isn't funny anymore. She looked at me in confusion.
What are you talking about?
I assume I wasn't talking to Olga Dmitrievna. That was some other, or the same skin wearer type of a person. About that. Masha cautiously looked out from behind my back.
Olga Dmitrievna, this really isn't funny anymore. I don't understand you two.
Let's seriously get back to the shooting.
What shooting?
The mass. I looked at her attentively.
mass one.
The mass one. I looked at her attentively for the first time and realized that perhaps she wasn't joking. Olga Dmitrievna was never a decent actress, so I doubt that this expression of surprise and incomprehension was fake. What a mess. Okay, let's assume. Tell us your version.
Version of what?
She was still blinking her eyes while looking at my mouth. I got it. I grabbed Masha by her arm and headed away from the square.
Hey, hold on. Where are you going?
I have to find out if this is real. Let's go bone. And that'll be my gauge between what happened yesterday and today. We'll start there. We have to find someone less insane. Olga Dmitrievna's shouts followed us, but I didn't pay any attention.
Hey,
Fuck. That's Soon enough, we reached the clubhouse. According to the script, I thought to be here. Let's go! Masha didn't reply, just followed my lead. I opened the door up abruptly and abruptly closed it on her face.
As per tradition.
Yeah, it's part of our relationship.
Door slam is love language.
Physical touch is her love language. Slams the door. Router was there as I had expected. What's happening?
Oh, Simeon, and you're not alone. Hey there, have you come here to join our club?
It seemed that there was something wrong with him, too. Why aren't you at the lineup? I asked mischievously.
Ahem. Well, I've got something to finish here.
We know what that is. Oh, whatever. Just tell us what's going on here.
Yes, am I missing something?
Just like Olga Dmitrievna, he stared at me with no sign of understanding. Why the heck is everyone acting like we're real pioneers in a real pioneer camp?
Isn't that the case?
It is?
Well, actually.
And what about the film?
What film?
The film, the one we're filming.
Simeon, I really don't understand what you were talking about.
It's only now that I realize that everyone around is calling me Semyon. Well, Sasha was calling me Semyon Kun too, but that was clearly a joke. While here, it's not a big thing. But my name is definitely not Semyon. Why not? I stepped back in horror and tripped over Masha's pigtails. She let out a short scream. That's what I was hoping for.
And you,
I
Miku.
wasn't listening. I just left him? I snatched Masha's hand right now. The balls. I managed to halt only at the bus stop. I turned around and saw Masha gasping for breath. I let go of her hand and sat down on the edge of the road. Looks like the two of us are in trouble. Don't you get it? Everyone here behaves crazy, exactly the same as it was written in my script. She stared blankly at me for some time, then she recovered.
Yeah, fair guess. But why?
Like, I would know.
So what are we gonna do?
I don't know. Masha was on the edge of bursting into tears. Okay, stop it. I have no idea. How can I know already make sense of the situation?
I understand, but
After all, there's still possibly be silly joke. Well, an overdone one. What if then we'll act in accordance with the circumstances? I sighed and quickly stood up. Let's go get something to eat. At least I think that whatever is happening here, food will be served. Masha gave a barely noticeable smile and followed me. Man, dude, the canteen was jam-packed. Even at the lineup, I noticed that there were many more people than there were yesterday. Did all these children really come here to an abandoned camp? No, there's something really wrong about it. However, food was being distributed, so me and Masha took trays and sat down separately from the others. I ate intently, trying not to raise my head up from the plate and not look at the surrounding people. However, it didn't help me much. In a couple of minutes, someone showed up near our table. I barely managed to raise my eyes and saw Lana. Can I? She asked quietly.
yes, it's tough.
While I was thinking as to how I should answer, Masha pushed out a chair beside her and invited Lana to sit down with a gesture. You weren't yourself this morning, she began anxiously.
Well, got up in the wrong side of bed.
Lena glanced at me and then quickly looked away. So, how's it going? I started with the more general questions. Fine. I see. I genuinely had no idea what we can discuss with her. Plus, Lena indeed looked pretty odd. While she was usually all fun and with high spirits, now she looked extremely timid and shy. That's good. Did you hear anything about Slavia? What happened? Well, nobody has seen her since yesterday. It's like you two disappeared first. Now you are here, but Slavia is... She left long pauses after each of her sentences. I still didn't get it. Either it's completely perfect acting, or the being sitting in front of us who wasn't our Lena. Nope.
We haven't seen her.
Well, I hope she will be back eventually. Yeah, we hope so too. Slavia. Sasha indeed could lose her way in broad daylight. That's hardly surprising. He thinks everybody is dumb. I was just finishing eating the rubber oatmeal when suddenly Olga turned into the canteen with her hands. She looked around emotionlessly, and after a glance at me, she finally headed toward us table and walked past us. Hello.
Oh, here you are. Let's go have a talk.
She just blow her breath right at my face. Ooh. All the noise stopped. Seemed that objecting was more significant. Here we go. I remember all that. Here we go. After we got outside, she turned around and abruptly said,
So where were you last night?
Should you care? I shrugged.
I should. Did you know that Slavia is missing?
Just heard that from Lana.
Exactly. I went searching for her
Hey,
and...
is that a different picture?
Oh, wow, it is.
She's crying.
Found her.
Is she
What?
dead? Is she dead? Is she dead? Please be dead.
This is creeping me out now.
Please be dead. There's no way. It looked like she was desperately fighting back tears. That's good news then.
Come on. Let me show you.
Let me show you her fucking mangled body.
Dude, that'd be seriously like
no, she can't be dead.
the forest.
She said quite in the direction of the forest. Oh yeah, I looked at Masha.
Maybe we shouldn't.
What's wrong with it? However, my inner voice was agreeing with her.
All right, damn it, I'm afraid.
Everything will be fine. I tried smiling, but even without the mirror, it was obvious.
I want to get to where Slavia is.
We're going, dude. We're going. So we made a small glitch. How could she?
There.
Oh, come on. We pointed at the tree.
What? What?
Woo! There's someone. Okay, high five. Come on. Someone's fucking dead.
What?
Fuck yeah. Yeah. I took a few steps and suddenly spotted a detached human arm. In fact, it wasn't even detached, more like it had been torn off. Masha appeared out from behind my shoulder and screamed in terror straight away. Don't look! She burst into tears and rushed over to me.
What in the world?
I made a considerable effort. I had to look behind the tree. It was indeed Slavia. Hey, remember that red-eyed monster?
Yeah.
The first playthrough, there's so much of shit going on.
Woohoo! Man, it had to be Slavia though. Darn.
Whatever. Body parts were lying there, an arm, a leg.
Why would Olga show a child this?
And she wouldn't, but the story had to happen. That's what I was thinking. Like, this doesn't make sense, but it had to happen. I felt like vomiting and instinctively averted my gaze. This is great stuff. I mean, who did this? This is really going to inspire my script.
Wow. How would I know?
Said Olga Dmitriev in surprisingly stone-cold voice.
Throughout the camp, you're the only ones without an alibi.
Masha continued to cry, now on my shoulder. What? You seriously think that we were able to do this? I gazed at her in fury. Now it didn't matter much that was happening here. Silly jokes or something more serious. A person had been murdered. A person who we knew. Slavia or Sasha, it makes no difference.
Well, no.
She hesitated.
But someone did it after all.
I would say some wild animals, probably wolves.
There were never any wolves around.
How do you know that unless you were there?
Right.
So you think a human could have done it?
Well, there is no one else to blame.
No, that makes no sense at all. It just can't. I hugged Masha tighter. Her sobbing became quieter.
Anyway, we have to call the police.
No, I mean, of course we have to. Let's go.
Dang. You fucking murder? That's crazy.
I'm worried that the reason or the story surrounding it is going to be very underwhelming and that'll make me not happy because right now it's great because it's such a mystery and someone died, which is what I wanted because now the stakes have been raised.
It had to be Slavia, though.
It did. Otherwise, we wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
They did have to murder the most likable person.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm happy. The district center is pretty far from the camp. I didn't think anybody was going to die after all these playthroughs.
Yeah.
The police.
It's interesting we haven't seen Uyana at all.
True. Sure. Night was falling. I was sitting at the square and watching the sunset. It's funny because we were just kind of going so fast and they're like, and then here we are. Now we're like, this is a good game again.
Uh-huh.
Masha was sleeping in Olga Dmitriev's cabinet for some reason. It all shocked her much more than us, for many reasons. There were two main questions in my mind. First, what is happening here? And second, who murdered Slavia or Sasha? Anyway, who's the murderer? The first one could be postponed for the time being, but I still had no clue how to deal with the second one. Despite all the confusion, the conclusion of her being savaged by wild beasts seemed to be the most reasonable explanation. I don't care if there are any wolves here or not. It could even be a bear or a badger, but certainly not a human. No one would be able to do something like that without additional tools, and the type of wounds made it clear that the unfortunate victim had been dismembered with bare hands or paws. Though it's true enough that an enraged human can nearly gain superhuman strength, but of all the people gathered here, who would be able to do something like that? Ralter, Lena, maybe Olga Dmitrievna herself, or someone who doesn't exist? Uliana. No, that's stupid. But even so, there were many children. There were many children apart from them in the canteen at the square. But am I really going to interrogate every single one of them? That's a job for the police. Then what's there to be afraid of? Maybe I'm not afraid for myself, but for Masha, right? I need to check how she's doing. I was just about to get up when I sensed someone's presence. The clone? Nope. It was the murderer. I mean, it was Lena. Oh, I didn't want to scare you. Boo. It's me. It's okay. Can I sit here? Yeah, sit down, please. She fixed her skirt with a need to move, sat down, started staring at the sunset. My eyes burn. Sad. Yeah, not much to rejoice about. What do you think? Who could have done that? How should I know? Certainly not me. No, it's not like I suspect you or anything. She began waving her hands in a funny manner. Well, thanks for that, I smirked sadly. But that must have been done by a very cruel, very evil person. Well, not necessarily. Lena glanced at me in confusion. Maybe it was a one-off delusion. After all, in everyday life, maniacs can be the nicest of people. So are you saying that? Her eyes widened, her jaw dropped into a black hole type of size. That it could have been done by any of us. Well, I'm not asserting that, that's for sure. But the circle of suspects is quite large. No, none of the children could do that. No one. Anyway, it's up to the police to
Could
deal
be
with
Shurik when he was all crazy, or you because you were in the tunnel and all
it.
crazy.
And I fell asleep.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's me.
That'd be cool.
I want it to be me. We spent some more time sitting in silence. I was about to leave when Lenny suddenly whispered, "Or could you?"
What?
A natural grin appeared on her face. I didn't see her face till just now.
What?
Woo! So whoever, the cat ear, the clone, whoever's controlling people is doing shit right now. A devil's grin. So I thought, could you have murdered Slavia? Of course not. But you two didn't get along very well. Why do you think so? We were getting along just fine. It suddenly became clear. Lena most likely is not talking about me. Well, who the fuck is she talking about? More precisely, not me from yesterday. And not the Slavia whose name is Sasha. I was sure about that. No, it wasn't me. Okay, relax. I'm not accusing you. She gave me a look, and for a second, her eyes seemed to read to me. Maybe it's just... Okay, I was looking...
Oh, wait. The creature from the beginning that you saw, that person's eyes was red.
Yeah. That's why I thought it did it. Was that monster, right?
Yeah.
I don't know who it was, but it was a monster that did it. That's a monster we saw. But who was the monster? Maybe it was just a reflection of the sunset. I'm glad you got everything right. But it was you who said that everyone is worth suspecting. I didn't tell you to suspect everyone. I meant that we don't know who the criminal is yet. Oh, I see. Well, I hope you become next victim. Ah! Lena said loudly, burst out laughing. The way she did it gave me the creeps. Okay, time to go. Bye.
It'd be cool if it was her. She was the one who had the most crazy vibes.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be disappointed. I wouldn't be disappointed. She got up and swiftly left the square. I chose not to linger and head to the Beatrice's cabin. All right, stopping point.
All right, exciting, different.
I finally give a shit. Someone got fucking murdered really bad.
Just like ripped out.
I remember I said that as a joke. There was like blood everywhere, and there wasn't blood everywhere, but someone was dismembered as hell.
I know.
So I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm happy.
I wish you would have had a much more terrifying picture.
Yeah,
that would have been upsetting.
Yeah,
probably couldn't have gone on the internet though.
Yeah, probably couldn't have. I hope the conclusion doesn't.
I actually didn't want to see a more upsetting picture, but it would have been more shocking.
Right.
I'm not saying that I'm agoraphil. I'm not saying that.
I'm on the same page.
Right.
I'm on this exact. I feel the same way.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Well, we'll all see what happens next time when you watch the show that you can.
Yeah, and you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it.